It's Thursday, February 7th, 2019, and time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. A major cruise development plan will be put into motion in a matter of weeks. Following a meeting with stakeholders and representatives of the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, Minister of Tourism Kerry Simmons announced last evening that changes will begin with the underutilized Pelican Village.
I intend to lead by example, and we are going to, within the next few weeks, have a nighttime exercise right in front of that craft center using Trevor's Way. And we are going to bring the music, have the carnival type experience that the country is known for. We will have the culinary aspect to it, so we will have food vendors from within the community, and I mean the local community in the city, be there to help sell their fare, and also have the crafts people from around Barbados being able to sell the stuff that they have. And I want to do it on a Friday night when there's a home port in port, so that we can bring the visitors to that experience.
Simmons told the media there are also plans for public-private sector partnerships and enhanced services.
We have settled into a program with the taxi operators in the Bridgetown port, where we will have a bespoke operation branded as Authentic Barbados, and we will be taking people to where they can find culinary experiences, taking people to where they can find beach and soft adventure experiences, taking people where they can experience ecotourism. And you all know that we have a range of what we would loosely call flower forests, but there are a number of different products of that type dotted around rural Barbados. And we want to make sure that we can move people to these attractions, because right now they're being bypassed.
President of the Florida Caribbean Cruise Association, Michelle Page, is eager to form closer ties with Barbados to facilitate the arrival of more ships here. However, she said Barbados needs to upgrade its offerings to cruise passengers and crew members and distinguish itself from other places.
So it's representing to every single person that it is a phenomenal place to come on a cruise and a better place to come for a stay over long vacation, and to underline that there are hundreds of things to do, that you might be able to only do these few things when you're in Barbados today, but it's to implant in their mind that there is a phenomenal array of historical, educational, culinary experiences. Yet, yes, you have wonderful beaches, but that is just the tip of the iceberg.
On to other news, there is mounting criticism of the appointment of former Commissioner of Police Darwin Doughton as crime consultant to the current top cop Tyrone Griffith. Adding his voice to the issue is opposition leader Bishop Joseph Atherley, who's warning that the appointment could embolden criminal elements. Atherley says there is already public perception of a fracture within the ranks of the Royal Barbados Police Force after a number of officers felt they were overlooked for promotion while under Doughton's stewardship. He tells Barbados Today he's worried that the return of the former commissioner could lead some people to believe that the police hierarchy is too weak to take the fight to the criminals.
Now, we're trying to face down a serious criminal element. We need to have a situation where the police force is perceived as being adequate to the task. If you're not careful as to the role you assign to Mr. Doughton, if you're not careful to explain to the public and indeed to the force and the administration of the force what specifically and actually that role is, you can have a situation where the criminal element feels emboldened because they may perceive that there's some disruptive dynamics operating around the police force at this time. You would have to ask yourself also, if it is not clear to the force the role Mr. Doughton is going to be playing, why he's back, you have to ask yourself as to how it impacts upon the morale and therefore the performance of the force in that particular context.
In sports, West Indies are bracing for the possibility of another ICC sanction ahead of the final test of the series against England. Just days after Captain Jason Holder was suspended from playing in the final test due to his side's slow over rate in Antigua, there are concerns that ICC match referee Jeff Crow will decide that the pitch used in the game was not up to standard. The match ended in 3 days with variable bounce evident throughout. Several batsmen were struck on the hands or body, and a couple more received unplayable deliveries. Officials at Cricket West Indies remain hopeful that the fact that West Indies batted for 131 overs and scored more than 300 runs in their first innings showed the pitch was not so bad. Pitches deemed to be unfit are given 5 demerit points. Poor pitches are given 3 points, and below average trips are given 1 demerit point. Any ground which receives 5 demerit points over a 5-year period will be banned from hosting internationals for 12 months. They can also be banned for 2 years if they receive 10. In 2009, another test against England at the Sir Vivian Richards grounds was abandoned after 10 deliveries due to an unfit outfield.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
In news from our regional neighbors now, Trinidadian police have reportedly cracked a human trafficking ring. During operations yesterday, they rescued 19 Venezuelan girls and young women who were said to be enslaved. As we hear from CNC3's Mark Besant, the females were between the ages of 15 and 19.
10 men of Asian descent were also detained during the exercise conducted by SORT, Counter-Trafficking Unit, the Child Protection Unit and the Financial Intelligence Branch. Commissioner Gary Griffith described it as a significant breakthrough in an illicit world of sex and drugs.
We have been instrumental in what may very well be cracking a major ring in Trinidad and Tobago in the involvement of the illegal immigration of young ladies. It also involves prostitution and all other aspects of human trafficking.
Commissioner Griffith said most of these young women were held in captivity and possibly victims of a sex ring.
Most of them 15 and 16 years old that were actually held against their will. They were basically slaves. They were released, rescued by the Special Operation Response Team last night. As I said, 19 of them, most of them 15 and 16 years old, being used as prostitutes by certain individuals.
Director of the Counter-Trafficking Unit, Alana Wheeler, said they were working closely with the young women and asked anyone with information about women facing similar circumstances to reach out.
Internationally, a Brazilian court yesterday handed a near 13-year sentence to former President Luiz Lula da Silva, who's also serving a lengthy jail term in a separate case. More from France 24.
The conviction had to do with upgrades to a rural vacation home that Lula, the ex-president, used to visit. And it's a similar case to the case that earned him the previous conviction. A company gave money to do improvements on the home. He says that it wasn't his home. He only slept there at the invitation of someone else. But this judge has ruled that indeed he's the one responsible for the home, and he knew about these benefits coming to him, and that they were bribes, that they were in exchange for him giving favors to this construction company. And that's similar charges to the 7 other charges that are still moving against Lula in the court system. He says all along that this is business as usual for Brazilian politicians, that they have close relationships with some companies, and something like this shouldn't be considered illegal. But this judge, who's now the replacement for Sergio Moro, the sort of crusading anti-corruption judge, has ruled that indeed it's illegal. So now he has over 12 more years tacked on to his sentence.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.